I would like to speak to you today about what happened to one of my students sometime last week. It's not really a scam, as we have spoken about scam before, but it's sort of a kind of a scam. She is a young actress, and she has worked a little bit, and she was having lunch in a restaurant alone, and at the table next to her was a very nice gentleman who was also having lunch. And after a while, he turned to her and he said, "You're an actress, right? And you're a good one, right?" Well, flattery will get you somewhere. And she said, "Yes, I am." And he said, "Well, I'm a writer." And he introduced himself, and he said that he was actually preparing a couple of series for one of the major networks, and that he thought she would be perfect for one of the roles. Did she have a picture with her? Well, being a well-prepared actress, she had 5 of them in the back of a car. So she excused herself, went to a car, came back with 2 pictures to show him what she could do in drama and what she could do in comedy. And he took the pictures, and they continued talking. She told him that she was married, and he very pleasantly told her that it was not so good for a young actress to be married, because the moment she starts working, the husband becomes jealous. And she said, no, I assure you, my husband is not at all jealous. So it was time to leave. She said goodbye, and he said, "Oh, may I have your phone number?" And at first she refused. She said, "Well, no, call my agent if there is anything concrete." And he said, "Well, but what if this is Friday? No respectable agent works on Saturday or Sunday, right? So what if I need to contact you over the weekend to introduce you to the casting director?" So, feeling pressed, she gave him her private phone number. I know, I can hear you snickering over there. Yes, she made that mistake. Naturally, a few hours later, he called her, and he said that he had shown the picture, and yes, they were interested in her, and could they have dinner together? And she said, "No, I can't." He said, "Oh, well, can we have lunch then? Would you feel better if we had lunch tomorrow? It's Saturday." And he invited her to a very well-known Beverly Hills restaurant. And she thought, well, what do I risk? I can go. So she went. And they started by having a very nice conversation, and told her how wonderful he thought she was. And she said, "But don't you need to see me act?" And he said, no, I can tell just by looking at you. And he said, I would love to be your friend." And she said, "Well, I'd like to be your friend too." And he said, "Well, I'd like to date you." And she said, "But I am married." He said, "But your husband is not jealous, and I'm very attracted to you. So what's the problem?" And she said, "I can't do that." She said, "I thought you were sincere. I thought you were a writer that wanted me." He said, "Yes, I am. But what's the problem?" Well, she started to leave. He grabbed her and he said, "You know what? You'll never get anywhere in this town. Not only that, you will never work for that network where I'm working. You're too short. You're not pretty enough." He reduced her to nothing. She ran out in tears. She got home. She called me. She gave me his name. And since I'm a member of the Writers Guild, I looked in the Writers Guild book to find his name. Well, you guessed, his name wasn't there. He was not really a writer. What he was, we'll never know. Now, what happened is, even after the fight and the argument at the restaurant, he called her later to invite her to come to his house to view some videotape with him. Needless to say, she had to change her telephone. She learned a very hard and a very painful lesson. There is a saying that says that people who try to take shortcuts will soon be cut short. And that's what happened to her. So, don't give your telephone to someone who tells you that he is in the entertainment field You don't know. Go the right way. Let your agent do the work. All right?